Hello, everybody, and welcome to Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's 2 o'clock. It's Friday. That means it's time for the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. It's the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and free classifieds for all you need to know to be in the know. Right, John? I did.
Aside from the end of the world that's coming?
Well, as my friend says, same crap, different flies.
Wow.
Anyway, that's just...
the way I look at it
I like
is,
the line, so I
the way I look at it is, if you had money in your 401k, you now don't have as much.
What did it end up today?
500
down?
Some odd? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it, to quote my friend R.E.M.
I like that song.
It's a good song. Can you do any of it?
Should we start playing
We should start playing
Is that
it.
for our intro?
That's a little depressing, don't you think, Doug?
No, John, you're a lawyer, right?
I refuse to answer the grounds that may incriminate me.
Are you like that guy on Suits? You ever seen
Larry
that show?
Parker got me $1.8 million.
That guy on Suits is a lawyer, but he didn't pass the bar exam.
No,
So
I passed
that's
I passed the bar,
Yeah,
and then I went
okay.
back and had a drink, and then continued on to the next bar. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
But you know the problems Hillary Clinton's having right now, right?
Hillary Clinton is not having problems.
She's not?
No.
Everything's hunky-dory
She
in her
has
life?
a ridiculously good PR firm. Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And she's probably going to be the next president, so you better be nice.
I have a question, though. Why was Bill, her husband, playing golf?
Why was Bill her husband? That is a very good
why
question.
was Bill playing...
I've seen them both, and I don't know the answer to that question, Doug. Why was Bill Hillary's husband? Wow.
Why was Bill playing golf with Obama the other day?
Because he can?
Something's going on. You think he was begging Mr. Obama not to... Because just one phone call, and Hillary sunk, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
one phone call and she's sunk?
Yeah.
One phone call to what?
He calls.
And how do you make this
he
call?
Calls
Is it collect?
He calls the attorney general and says, "Go after her. She's done."
How is that? If they don't go after her, do you think she's done? Of course she is. This is not going away. I don't think this is going away.
Okay. So anyway, you're a lawyer, right?
I'm not going to. I told you I'm not going to answer that question on the grounds of incriminating. I refuse to. I'm taking the Fifth Amendment.
What could they get her for? If what all the rumors swirling.
Apparently, if she's here, they could get her for jaywalking. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah, folks. When you're in downtown Newhall, don't cross the street unless you're in a crosswalk. That's a different story for another show.
Yes.
Anyway,
what can they get her for? What did she do wrong, Doug?
I don't know that.
Well, then
I'm asking.
Then
you,
the answer is nothing.
I'm asking you with the speculations that's going on.
Well, what are you speculating that she did wrong?
Okay, if she did take all those emails and deleted them somehow and erased her server.
Okay,
could that be obstruction of justice?
Hang on. There's a couple things there that you're forgetting. All right, let's break it down. Legalize. I wish I had like a telestrator, because wouldn't it be awesome to have one of those? I know it's radio, but I could do like John Madden. Well, the guy go across the middle here. No. It's real simple. This is what's going on. Forget what she did or didn't do, or whether the server was classified or not classified. Those are separate laws, and I'll be honest, I don't know that much about those. Okay, there's federal requirements with regard to what can be on a private server, what can't be, what should be, what shouldn't be. I don't know that. That's not the area of the law that I practice. One thing that's pretty common to most area of the laws is the power of the subpoena. Okay. Now, in this case, a subpoena really is a request for documents or a request for appearance issued by a judge, or in this case, the Senate.
Right.
Okay. And you have to comply under penalty of perjury. Now, let's go back to I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Right.
Bill testified that he didn't have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky under oath in a deposition. Okay? When you start a deposition, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so at the best of your ability, subject to perjury?
Right.
Yes. And I ask everybody who I depose, hey, the penalty of perjury applies here. We both your attorney and I expect you to tell the truth. Do you understand this? Yes. Okay? And I guarantee you, when you're deposing the President of the United States, you still do the same admonition that you would do just about for anybody else. Perjury applies. You got to be careful what you say. Don't go because the train.
So are you saying perjury is one of her maybe?
Perjury
issues?
is probably it. Failure to comply with a legally issued subpoena, assuming several facts. It was illegally issued. Okay.
What about obstruction of justice? If she did destroy the
It depends. Okay, my understanding of obstruction of justice is there's got to be a claim that those documents are pertinent to a crime. Okay, it's not really obstruction of justice. It's more along the lines of, hey, I'm obstructing your investigation by failure to returning over something subject to a valid subpoena, or I've destroyed evidence in a way such as you can't complete your investigation. So what did she do, Doug? Nothing yet.
We don't know.
Nothing yet. Is it going to go away? They have got a really good PR firm because somebody who committed perjury, somebody who lied in a deposition, got reelected president. That's always been my take. Whether what he did to Monica, who cares?
Okay, take your lawyer hat off and be a political pundit now. Is she going to be able to get out from underneath this politically? Are the Democrats going to let her stay where she's at as the top nominee?
That's the big question. Who's coming out of the woodworks? Paging Al Gore. Please pick up a white courtesy phone. Is he coming back? Make another run for the dangling Chad. It's a possibility. The other one, Joe Biden. I promise only to serve one term. You know why? Because I don't think he can count to two. Not the smartest man. I don't know whether the Democrats want him to run or not.
What about Kerry?
Really? I think he's still a little chafed at the last time he tried to run and didn't win.
How about our favorite socialist, Bernie Sanders?
He's too obscure to. Wait, we have a socialist here, don't we? Can we talk? Oh, wait a minute. All right, that was an inside joke, which we'll share a little bit later.
And he's not laughing.
He's not laughing. Wow. All right. Well, we do have a special guest in studio, which we'll reveal after the break. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clara's hometown station. We are back after this.
You do need to know, folks, that's why you're tuning into the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS.
Doug, you want to introduce our special guest?
Go ahead.
No, you go there.
No, go ahead.
All right, rock, paper, scissors. No, go ahead, you do it.
No, our special guest is Councilman Tim Ben Boydston. Thanks for joining us, sir.
It is a pleasure, as always, Doug and John.
Oh, yeah. An afterthought. And fill in the blank here. So, all right, Councilman, we're in lovely, beautiful downtown Newhall, new studios.
We are, and congratulations to Carl and Jerry, and thank them for coming to help be part of our revitalization here in Old Town. The building looks great now. It's divided into 3 different spaces, and 2 of them are filled, and it's rocking out.
Well, while we're at it, let's plug your business. It's just a couple blocks down, right?
Well, it's not mine. It is a nonprofit organization that I work for. But
that
would be the Canyon Theater Guild, and we're doing a really fun and funny show right now. It's an adult comedy by Neil Simon called The Sunshine Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of laughs and lots of fun.
That does sound like fun. I should have to do that. Sunshine Boys. I got to remember that. That's one of my favorites.
Playing for 2 more weekends, so.
Oh, there you go.
Call and get your tickets right now, 799-2702.
What's it rated, would you say?
Oh, if it were a movie, like PG.
Oh, okay.
Maybe PG-13.
Maybe PG-13.
Okay.
So what's coming up there? Anything good? I mean, aside from that, what's after?
We have a lot of great things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing Christmas Carol the musical. Later in the season, we're going to be doing The King and I. We're doing Peter Pan. We're doing a different version of Peter Pan, like a new one. So.
Oh, there you
go. From England. It's terrific.
The King and I. That's. Never mind.
It's a classic.
I was gonna go somewhere.
Yul Brynner, right?
Shouldn't go.
Yul Brynner. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I was gonna go. That's more of like city politics, isn't it? The King and I.
Ooh.
But I chose not to. But then you forced me to.
It's a good joke. But the other part of the question for the joke is, well, who's the king?
Who's the king and who's I? Well, that's a good question. All right, you are undoubtedly what we would consider. I don't think anybody's gonna argue with me here. More of a maverick on the city council.
I like to think of myself as an independent.
There you go.
Independent thinker and very analytical.
Very, very analytical. I will definitely attest to that.
But would you dispute the fact that a lot of the votes are 4-1 and you're the one?
I would not dispute that there are a lot more than there used to be, 4-1, but there's a lot more than there used to be, 3-2, now that Mr. Acosta is on the council as well.
Okay.
But you got to put it in perspective. If you look at the 4 years plus that I've served, probably 96% of the votes are 5-0.
Right. Well, because most of the time there's no real major issues.
Well, a lot of the times, a lot of the issues have been hammered out ahead of time, and
right.
and there's not, and a lot of it's kind of what we call rudimentary. But you want to keep your eye on it. But the 4th time that someone is, say, renewing a landscape maintenance contract, you know whether that landscape company is doing a good job, etc.
Right.
So
it's easy.
Not as much scrutiny, perhaps, because you know their track record. But yeah, I would agree with you. There's a lot of kind of regular things, but also you got to understand that you don't keep your eye on your government. You don't keep good people in your government. The government goes someplace it's not good.
Absolutely.
That's what history tells us. on a small basis, you can City of Bell, or
Oh, yeah.
on a countrywide basis, like the country of Russia.
Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you a completely generic question, and we're not going to go into issues quite yet. I promise we will. What is one of your pet peeves being a city councilman? Is there one thing that occurs either at a meeting or when you're talking to people that kind of aggravates you about the process? And it's an interesting question.
I'm not sure what you mean by a pet peeve.
Is there one thing that you look at and you go, boy, I wish this were different in a procedural standpoint? Is there something that really
From a
bothers you?
procedural standpoint, I would say my biggest problem at City Hall is one of our rules that were changed a little while after I was on the council, and that was that as a city councilman, I cannot put something on the agenda. I do not have the power to do that as an individual. The rules are that the city manager can put something on the agenda by himself, and very often he sets the agenda.
Right.
But if a single council person cannot put something on the agenda unless he goes to the city manager and said, would you put this on the agenda? And the city manager can put it on the agenda.
Can he also say no?
He can say no.
And there's no ramifications if he says no.
No. And
Wow.
so
Wouldn't that be
what
like
you need to do is you need to have a plurality of the council, which is usually 5, because 3 out of 5,
Right.
because usually we're all there. So you have to have 2 other people that agree with you to put something on the agenda. So consequently, let's say you have an issue that you're trying to bring forward and you want it to have a full hearing, everybody on the tape in front of God and everybody, and the cameras running, and you want that, and you want to bring people so they can hear, and you want to be able to debate it. So you want the time, and you want it to be part of the record.
Right.
Well, now you can't do that, because you might be able to say, hey, I would like to put whatever the issue is.
Right.
I would like to put the issue of gun control, the issue of rent control, the issue of anything on our agenda. Okay? And if you don't have 2 people that say yes, it's not going to be there. Now, you could spend a few minutes saying, this is why I want to put it on the agenda, but you'll talk for a few minutes, and then you'll look around, and that'll be the end of the discussion. There won't be any further discussion. You won't be able to put it on the agenda and then go out into the community and say, oh, wow, all these people want to come down to City Hall. They want to put their say in on it.
And they can't.
And then they can't. And I think we probably wouldn't have had the billboard debacle if we had been able to have a proper procedure.
Is there a reason for that, do you think?
Well, of course there's a reason
Well,
for that.
who has the power of B to put that rule in place?
The city council. That's the city council's
Wow.
rules. So what it basically does is it takes the majority of the council
To make an issue.
change the rules, and so the majority of the council kind of like the way things are now,
Has said no.
And they've said no.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of rigging the game in a way?
Well, it doesn't sound very democratic to me, but you know what? You would really have to ask the other council people what they think, because, like I said, maybe they have reasons for not wanting to allow a city council person to be able to put something on the agenda, but be able to allow the city manager, who is basically supposed to work for all of us.
Can you get him on for us? No, just not.
But okay, let me throw this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's just say the city manager is bent a certain way on a certain issue, and he doesn't want it to come forward. Then he shuts it down right there.
Well, it's not quite that easy, because there are 5 council people. So if 3 of the council people come forward, and you can usually get some sort of dialogue if you can find one other council person to talk about it with you, because then you could have a 2-person conversation.
Okay.
But that's only
still,
2.
That's only
'Cause
2.
You
It's not 3.
You would be breaking the Brown Act. Let's say I wanted to go out. I can't go out and lobby if the 2 of you are on the council, and I want to come to you and say, Doug, John, let's get this on the agenda, and here's why. And so I spend a half hour or 45 minutes with each one of you, laying my points out. This is why it needs to go on the agenda so the public can talk about it. I can't do that. It's against the Brown law.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
That's why the city manager has the most power in the city.
Let's talk some issues when we come back, all right?
Okay.
All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clara's hometown station, with our special guest, City Councilman Tim Ben Boydston. We'll be right back.